Hey y'all, this is Philippe the Learn to Grow guy. Today we're going to talk about second crops, okay? Meaning that, you know how when you've harvested the plants that you planted, and you're looking for something else to plant, do not let your garden soil go bare for the rest of the season, okay? Right now it's too early, okay? It's too early for that. So, again, today, second crops. But the main thing we're going to be talking about is right here. Okay, and it's not roasted salted peanuts. Okay, this is actually chickpeas. A friend of ours, Josh, and his wife, they gave us this container of chickpeas that they grew themselves. Okay, and so what we decided to do is to try to grow some of these chickpeas and various other things in the garden as a second crop. Now, something else that we decided to plant is Cherokee wax beans. So it's a string bean, okay? And here's the important thing you got to consider when you're selecting plants to use as a second crop, okay? This particular Cherokee wax bean takes 54 days to maturity, okay? And right now we're in July. When I planted them, might have been, I'd say around, I don't know, July 15th or around that time. So that means that I've got plenty of time until the first frost hits to get a harvest. Now, as far as the number of days, what you got to do is that you got to go back, you got to look at your first frost date and then go back from there, okay, to your current date to see how many days you actually have and whether or not you have enough time to determine whether a certain variety of plants are going to have enough time to bear you a crop so that you can enjoy. Now, another thing that I grew that was selected is it's another bean. It's a lima bean. It's a lima bush bean. It's called what's that? Ford Hook. Okay, 242 lima bush. Again, that's Ford Hook 242 lima bush. Okay, now that one's I don't seem to be having much success with that one. I've planted that one twice, and the first batch did not come up at all. I don't know, maybe I soaked it overnight too long. I don't know, but the second batch I actually planted it without even soaking, and I still have not seen those son of a guns come up yet. I've also planted beets. Okay, I love beets. However, this year for some reason I'm not having any luck with beets at all. I think I've got 2 or 4 beets that actually has leaves on them. Out of all the beets that I planted them in succession in the spring. Again, nothing came up. So, but I'm trying again now, okay? And even then, the stuff I planted almost a week ago now, it has not come up yet. I've got some cowpea, okay, some cowpea that I planted. They're a black-eyed bean, they're a bush. I planted those, again, about maybe a week or so ago. Yeah. And those take about, how many days? It takes 80 days to bear a crop, to get a good solid crop. And the last thing I've planted is Brussels sprouts. I love me some Brussels sprouts. If you have ever had some Brussels sprouts that went through a freeze day or whatever in your climate, dude, do that. I'm telling you, the stuff tastes very sweet. It has a very sweet flavor to it, okay? Now, I'm going to take you to the garden. I'll show you what I've been talking about, okay? I'll show you some of what I've been talking about. Okay, as you guys remember, this was my, my potato garden. I had a bunch of, I grew purple potatoes. That's what I grew exclusively this year, okay? Now, this here, okay, is the star of the show. I'm calling it the star of the show for now, okay? These are my chickpeas. I've got a solid row that goes all the way down that way of chickpeas. Now, the problem that I have is whether or not rabbits came up and got them. Okay, got a few of them. As you could, as I walk through here, you're going to see some voids. Okay, they're supposed to be alternating, meaning that there should have been another one around here someplace, but for whatever reason, that one did not come up. I do know that there has been some critters out here because there was some plants that had some of the tops cut off. Okay, with these chickpeas here, you can plant them in the spring, but remember they don't like it to be too cold when you plant them. And since I planted them midsummer, So that means that these guys are doing much better. Okay. See, this is one as to where some critters got to it, and I'm hoping that it does a bounce back. Okay. This is tomato plant here, tomato plant there, and a chickpea, final chickpea here. That one seems to be struggling. Maybe it's because it's not getting much sunlight, it's getting too much shade from behind this here tomato plant. But nonetheless, this is what I've got here. I'm growing some chickpeas. They said that you can grow chickpeas in the worst of climate, in the worst of soil, and that'll do good. The reason I planted chickpeas and so many other different types of beans is because I'm trying to put more nitrogen back into the soil. Okay, I'm trying to put nitrogen into the soil, and what has always said is that when you're trying to put nitrogen in the soil, there's a certain bacteria that's supposed to be in the soil to help your legumes or whatever plant that is that you're planting to be able to collect the nitrogen and put the stuff in the soil. Now, I did not test my soil to see whether or not I had that particular bacteria in it, and I believe you can also buy some of that bacteria to either to put your seeds in or to inoculate your soil, so that when you do plant your legumes and such, they are able to produce that nitrogen and thus replenish your soil. Now, the thing about legumes is that people get wrong is that after they plant the beans, they think it's okay to pull the whole plant out. No, you don't pull the plant out. Even after your harvest, you leave the roots inside, because typically what you're going to have is you're going to have some of those little nodules on the roots, and that's where the nitrogen is. Okay. Another thing that I found out, or I heard about recently, is that if your beans produce the crop and you go ahead and you harvest the crop, okay, then that means that you lose some of the nitrogen in the soil from the roots of the legumes. Now, I don't know whether that's true or not, but my viewpoint is that if that is true, my viewpoint would be that you harvest half your crop and leave some of the beans alone and let them do what they want. Let nature have them. Okay, either that or to pick the beans and the flowers before they get too big, or before they get or before they become mature. And that way, you're not taking all the nitrogen via the bean pods. Okay. So anyway, let's continue on our little tour. Okay, my second crop is on this row here. Is that I've got 3 watermelon plants. I know it looks like there's a whole lot of watermelons in here, but there's only 3 plants that I have. I have one here. Okay. The other one is fairly close to it. It should be around here. Okay, and the third one, I got them all about a foot and a half apart. Okay, see, and that's the other one. Okay, so I've got 3 watermelon plants here, and they seem to be doing quite well. They're producing watermelons. See that one? Okay. Well, that baby one's not gonna make it. It's turning orange. It's turning yellow. Okay, but otherwise, this is producing quite a bit. I think that's the largest one. I think, oh yeah. Another small one. Okay, that one's doing just fine. And the key thing is to keep it watered. And I've been watering this one like crazy to make sure that it does produce. However, down here, I actually planted some other seeds here, like the brassica that I showed you guys earlier, and I'm not seeing not a single one of them come up. And we've had plenty of rain and stuff like that coming down, that again, I don't see the I don't see my brassica. Okay, so brassica is not doing too good, or maybe it requires cooler weather. This is the first bean that I put out here. Okay, as you can see, the beans are doing quite well. This is Jerusalem artichoke. See the beans? They're supposed to be a bush bean, but looks like they're doing that vining thing. Okay, it's supposed to be a bush bean, bush bean, bush bean. Okay, so anyway, still got the onions to pick up. I haven't picked some of those up yet. Okay, so this is the first set of beans that I planted. And this is some of the stuff that I feared would happen, is that this particular time it was deer that came in. Okay, it was actually deer that came in and try to take what they wanted out of here. All right. Okay, now this is the other row. This is row number 4. And by the way, row number 5 has the Jerusalem artichokes. They're doing their thing. Deer came through, knocked some of them over. Yeah, knocked some of them over, and that's where that is. Okay, so otherwise, this is some of the this is that whatchamacallem beans. The black eyed peas ones, I believe that these are, and that seems to be doing just fine. They're coming up, and amongst these I also planted some potatoes underneath. You can probably see some of them coming. I'm trying to get a second crop of potatoes also. Okay, but otherwise these beans are doing fine. Pepper fell from the pepper plant. Otherwise potatoes are coming up. They're trying to come up. This is my second crop of purple potatoes that I got here. Okay, now I didn't come out here yesterday at all because I sort of had some back pain issues. So something came out here, laid up here, did some digging or whatever that they were doing. And if any of y'all know what would do this, please let me know. Leave a comment and let me know what's going on with this, okay? Okay, now let's go to the next one. I don't take the long way around. I've got some stuff I got to do with the Jerusalem artichoke to protect them. And yes, I still have the tulip. Even though the there's not that much Japanese beetles left, I still have the tulip. Okay, this is like still in July. Okay, these Jerusalem artichokes were here from last year. Okay, and over here I planted some more medicinal potatoes. They've not come up yet, except for, looks like this little one here. This little one here. And even here I planted some beets, and they've not come up yet. See, this is where the deer, when they came in, they decided to do whatever they were going to do and knock some stuff over, trying to eat the tops, which is what they did here. They ate the tops. Okay, so again, oh wait, look, beets. Because I'm hoping that's what that is. Beets. So I was wrong. The beets are coming up. I don't know if you can see this one here at my fingertip. Okay, beets. So the beets are coming up. So I will have some beets this year. And yes, you, the crowd, can cheer at this point, okay? So that's what I've got growing at this time. That's my new crop. That's my second crop for the year. And y'all, I'm telling y'all, okay, if wherever possible, plant a second crop, okay? Makes no sense to let your soil just go to waste and do nothing with it, even though you have half of the year still remains. So my viewpoint is that make the most of it, okay? Do I show you what I've been working on and doing, or where things are? Well, let me show you the what I've got in front of the cabin here, okay? Okay. I planted some of these tomatoes, and I just did some weeding the other day to clear the bottoms out, and cleared out the bottom leaves so that leaves do not touch the ground and mess things up. And so what I've got here is a bunch of tomatoes, and they're thriving and they're doing just fine. One thing I did come to the conclusion of is, even though you have basil, sweet basil growing next to your tomatoes, it does not always deter stuff, okay? And see, look, let me show you something. That's just something I just noticed is feasting on my tomatoes. See this? Oh. Okay, this is damage that just happened. And I see the culprit right there. Look at the size of that son of a gun. Well, I can tell y'all one thing for sure. This one's not going to make it. You are witnessing the last few moments of its life. Okay, because they did a lot of bad damage to my tomatoes on the other side by the garden where we just came from. See this? Okay, I got to get rid of this one and look for whatever other ones that may be in the area, because I want to make sure that they do not destroy all of my tomatoes that I worked hard on to try to grow. And by the way, this tomato plant, this tomato plant that's being feasted upon at this time, as well as this one here. I took a little some of these here, some of these suckers that was a little bit longer, and I put them in. I just made a hole and stuck them in the ground, and there they are. Okay, they're thriving, but I'm gonna take that sucker out. Okay, I'm glad I brought you guys by here. So anyway, I've got a pest that I got to get rid of and take a look around to see if there's any more. And in the meantime, y'all, I'll see y'all later. Y'all take care. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. Yeah, share. And if there's any comments, anything you want to say to anybody else, be sure to leave a comment so that other people, so that you share your knowledge with other people as well. Okay, y'all take care.